Hi, everyone. I know we've been talking a little bit this week about using your imagination and being able to pretend things, which is so much fun and also really good for your brain. So I hope you're doing that a lot at home. Since we've been talking about that and practicing that a little bit together, I wanted to read you one of my favorite stories about someone who's really good at using their imagination. The story is called The Stick, and this is by Clay Rice. The Stick. Once there was a boy who had no toys to play with. The other children in the neighborhood had lots of toys. Every afternoon, the boy would go to the park, sit under a big tree, and watch the other children play. Sometimes they let the boy play with their toys, sometimes not. This made the boy sad. One day, as the boy was sitting under the big tree in the park, he noticed a stick leaning against the trunk. He had never seen such an unusual stick. He picked it up. Suddenly, he was a pirate. Then a baseball player at bat. And then a knight on a steed. A steed is like his horse that he rides. See how he's using the stick in different ways? A baseball bat, for jousting. The boy noticed that there were words carved into the stick. He sang them like a song. Imagination lives in you. It's the fire in all you do. Use it well, and you can be anything you want to be. The boy carried the stick everywhere, and anywhere he was anything he wanted to be. At the beach, he was a fisherman. At the lake, he paddled a canoe. He was a hiker in the highlands, and his imagination grew. Time passed, and the boy grew up. With the stick's inspiration, he became everything he wanted to be. He took business trips and airplane rides. He sailed the seas on rising tides. He gave of his time. He gave of his wealth. He gave from his heart. He gave of himself. So that's kind of telling us he gave of his time. He spent time with people, probably helping them, working hard too. He gave of his wealth. That means he was successful in a way that earned him money, and he shared his money and the other things that he was able to buy and helped other people get things that they needed. And he was giving from his heart. He was giving because he cared about people, and maybe because he knew what it feels like to not always have everything you might want or need. It says he built a house high on a hill overlooking the valley where he had grown up. In the distance, he could see the park and the old tree where he used to sit. As the years passed, the boy became an old man, but each day he took his stick with him to the park and sat on a bench near the tree where he had found the stick so long ago. He would sit for hours and watch the children play. All of the children seemed to have lots of toys to play with except for one little girl. The little girl always sat under the old tree and watched the other children play with their toys. This made the old man sad. Early one morning, the old man walked to the park, but instead of sitting on the bench, he went over to the tree. He leaned the stick against its trunk, walked to his bench, and waited. Soon the children arrived at the park with their toys. He waited to see if the little girl would show. He saw her walk slowly toward the tree. She peered down at the unusual stick leaning against its trunk. She picked up the stick, and suddenly she was a princess, a fencer, then a surfer riding a wave. She noticed that there were words carved into the stick, and she danced away as she read them like a song. Imagination lives in you. It's the fire in all you do. Use it well, and you can be anything you want to be. And the old man smiled and walked home. The end. So I hope that helps you think about some of the ways you might be able to use ordinary things, kind of regular things around you, to use your imagination just like the little boy did who grew into the old man, and just like the little girl, too. They both had such wonderful imaginations using the same stick to pretend lots of different things. And I hope that you'll kind of look at things a new way now. Maybe if you find a stick outside, you might use that to help you play pretend. You might also find some things in your house that you can use. Maybe a box of cardboard, maybe a pillow. I have no idea, but I would love to hear what you're using. So please let me know if you think of something really neat, and I'd love to hear all about it. I hope you all have a fun rest of your day with lots of fun and play, and that we will all be together again soon. Take care.